Welcome back, everyone. In today's video, I want to cover a lot of the testing that I've done over the past few days just for the basic units. This video is only going to cover the basic units, and we're going to go into a lot of detail over some of the numbers of what the basic units for each one of these demons is able to take, output, those different types of things. I'm going to go over some of those details in just a second over everything that we're going to cover. Some of the things that I'm going to talk about, you might think that you've already heard some of these numbers before, and you have, and I also want to use them as a type of comparison point, that we came up with some of the same numbers, but I'm going to go into a lot more detail than what some of those other numbers that you may have heard in a different video, particularly swing points video. Again, this is only for the basic units. We did damage. I didn't really do light hits with the puppeteer. We can extrapolate those backwards for half damage. But of course, I don't know any puppeteer player that recommends really using the light attack very often, so it's not something that should be very much in your arsenal. Warlord with weapon, without weapon, Necro with flute, no flute. Also, all three demons with talents, no talents, as well as testing to make sure of the Kandarian Fury, with Kandarian Fury with talents, and then without Kandarian Fury with talents. Also, we took a look at testing some of the health numbers. The way that this was arrived at is we would go in and possess a unit and smack it with the exact same weapon from the exact same character, that character having no talents, and as well, I guess I should also mention that for the damage, we made sure that it was also the same character, Lash was used, and no talents. But for the health numbers, how many times was the sledgehammer with just light attacks, its 4-hit combo used, any extra hits that were used on top of that, and kind of arriving at sort of the final combo number count and any extra hits. There's no real exact number that we can put into the health pool. You can go and try maybe pixel measure or something of that nature, but those are some numbers that we're going to get into. We also looked at time to kill. The time to kill is a little bit subjective. What we used is different types of combos, a couple well-known combos for the units, or not. I mean, really they were the same. I mean, it was just one combo for the Necro, one combo for the Warlord, and one combo for the Puppeteer. But again, these are rather well-known combos, and they worked very effectively. As well, this was all done on level 1, no perks, threat level 1, no in-game perks, with the demons as well. Talentless and with talents for both of the time to kill. With flute, without flute. I don't think we did with weapon and without weapon on Warlord, but it's a slightly moot point because I think it's like a 5 or 10 damage difference with the weapon. Time to combo, so how long did it take for some of these combos to rack up in their time? And then the range, I kind of recorded some range. I don't know that that's really that big of a consideration, but we will kind of look at that as well. Speed test record. Speed test. So we tested to see how long it takes for a basic unit to catch up to the Lash as he's running. And he ran out of stamina, and we didn't start running again. And that one's a pretty fun one. I do want to talk about the abilities and some of the opinions that are out there on the abilities. There's not a great way to test the abilities. I mean, they do have raw damage numbers. I think those have already been covered, and it's not really so much about the damage of the ability itself that is really overall the concern. I think it's a situationalness of the abilities. One other thing that we're going to look at as we go through where we were doing the damage to the units in order to try and derive how many combos that we could do before the unit died in order to try and derive the health of the unit. I do want to talk about the dismemberment and then go into the conclusions. So that's going to be kind of the layout of the video today. I have my video loaded up here in the background. This is actually the testing that I have completely condensed down. We're going to look through and balance bar. Balance bar is going to come all the way at the end. And what we did in order to test that was without Rocksteady Basic, with Rocksteady Basic on all three different basic units. In order to test that, we had the lash show up and blow up ability in order to get a consistent number across each one of them rather than trying to count on one or two sledge hits or anything like that. It was just an easy one-time ability, and it does consistently the same damage to balance bar. That's going to come all the way at the very end, although we are going to see one balance bar hit here at the beginning. I missed it, but it doesn't really matter because it's the same between a normal possession and a power possession on the puppeteer, and the puppeteer is what we're going to start with. I do want to go ahead and mute this so that way I can kind of talk a little bit more over it, and we don't really need the background discussion that was going on during the time of this. So now I've taken the puppeteer here, and I'll also see if I can put the numbers up over off to the side. Run down here, and I mean, really it should be a little bit faster than this. Here we go. These aren't this long in order to kind of build up to where the actual hit is. This is regular possession and a couple hits there with 70 on each. Play it again. This is going to be a power possession. And you can see the 88. And there's an interesting piece right there. So you saw the 88, 88 for each hit, and then a 444, three ticks of bleed damage. That's something that we have discovered, and I don't know exactly how recently. I've noticed it before, and I always thought that it was Kandarian Fury damage that was ticking off. That's how I thought that they added in Kandarian Fury, because I never sat down and did the math or observed the numbers that much or anything. Actually, what's happening is that the Q power possess ability adds bleed damage to your attacks. I don't know if it's on your elites as well. We are going to get to testing that at a different date, but definitely on your basics, as you can see here. I think I do another round of, hey, let me double check that. And there's another 88, 88, and 4, 4, 4. I think I needed to make sure that it was 3 ticks of bleed damage. Again, if we, and I'm telling them, do is show up and blow up. You probably can't see the camera because my camera is right over top of my other camera. That's no big deal. Again, we can take the heavies and roll them back. I think they're half power, so it would be a 44 hit for a light attack. Also, it's approximately 5% of the damage of the hit as the bleed damage, and I'm not sure if it's 2 ticks of it. Maybe that's something that I should have tested as well. So like if it's a light hit, that's only 1 hit? Is it 2 ticks or 3 ticks? But again, light hits don't really factor into it too much, and even then at 5% of a 44 light hit, it's not going to be a large damage number anyway, so 1 or 2, half of 4 at any rate. So we'll scoot on to the next bit here. I do the show up and blow up. There's kind of an example of how we're going to measure the balance bar later on, but you can kind of see there where we're just kind of eyeballing it, really, to kind of say how much of that percentage was left. And if I do this again, show up and blow up, we can kind of see that about, pause, 20-25%, maybe, being a little bit generous of the balance bars less. And again, this is no talents on this one. We'll look at them again at the end. We're going to have the same thing, no talents with talents. There's a decent example of that. Now, moving on to this piece here, this is going to be with talents, no Kandarian Fury, and regular possession, 83 damage on those. Let me scroll down here. Yep, with talents, no Kandarian Fury. And then hits again, 100, ticking off for 4 on the heavy hits. So that was with talents, no Kandarian Fury, power possession on that one, getting that 8 tick bleed off. Okay, and then this one here should be come on, we're just gonna stare at each other. These clips should not be this long anymore. Okay, there we go. So 97. This must be regular hits. I'm sorry, regular possession with Kandarian Fury. Okay, and there I was testing. That's what that last hit was too. I had read online that that Kandarian Fury resets after so long. If we kind of bring it back 10 seconds, we'll take a look again. So there is 2 hits at 97, and I kind of count 1, 2, 3, and then hit again, and they're still for 97. So it hasn't been, and I'll pause it here, it hasn't been the 5 seconds that I've heard of before that increases that Kandarian Fury number. And as an example here, I've been possessing the unit for a while, and as you remember, I had 100 heavy hits, a hit of 100 for my heavy hit both times without Kandarian Fury, and now it's 100. So the 15% damage bonus, obviously 15 more damage, has been stacked on top. And that was also the same case with the 97, but it didn't go away. So again, what I had read online before appears to be incorrect, because I'm pretty sure that I waited long enough for the combo to cancel, and I didn't wait 5 seconds in order for the Kandarian Fury to build back up. However, the damage stayed at 97. So once you have your Kandarian Fury, it appears to stay with you. I mean, of course, I guess until the unit dies, or you depossess it. Okay, for this one is going to go into how much damage can the unit take. So as you can see here, we've got the lash. He's going to start beating me. I'll just go ahead and play it. He's going to start beating me with the hammer, and he's telling me how much he's hitting for. And by the way, this is hitting for 77, then 85, then 92, then 100. And we counted how many times is that going to go. And for this one, it's going to go times 3, and then have 3 extra hits. What is it? 1, 2, and then 3. Is that one it there? Yep. And then he downs me. So that was regular possession, no talents. 3 combos and 3 extra hits. Now this is going to be a power possession, no talents. This one should go for 6 full combos and then 2 extra hits, 77 and then an 85. It is going to take a little bit. This is actually a pretty interesting point here, because a lot of folks said, or at least claim, oh, you know, puppeteers have the lowest health, they have the weakest attacks, and our testing has shown us something much different. Now also, as you can see here, now we didn't have it on, I don't think we had it on the previous test, but on this power possession we have actually lost our left arm. That's kind of an important key thing to talk about here too. I mentioned we were going to talk about dismemberment, and as you can see, we have lost an arm. It's not that important of a deal on Puppeteer, because as long as you have one arm, you can do the exact same damage. He swings with one arm, or he swings with the other arm, just the same. This here was the range test. So if I want to roll back the 10 seconds here real quick. So I'm just trying to line up, and as you can see, I'm pretty far away, and I do get the second hit. I'll roll back 20 seconds now so we can kind of see. I think my first test was a pretty good test. I wanted to see if I could back up any more. Again, this is not a huge deal. I think I probably could have backed up a little bit, but that was a good example of how far that you can be away and then still be away, but then still get that second hit. Now this is the full combo. Okay, so what I considered as the full combo on the Puppeteer, you're going to end up with where you are trying to close the gap on somebody, or you're trying to catch up to somebody that's trying to run away from you. So that's going to be a sprinting heavy, and then a dodge, or followed up by a heavy and then a dodge. Either way, you're putting the heavy around the dodge. And so there's the dodge into another heavy, and then I'm just going to finish him out into another heavy. And then I think this set of 3, which was the previous, and then this one, I counted that as the full combo. And again, this one here is talentless, if I'm not mistaken. It should be talentless. I think this is the first one that we've come across. That time to kill, and you can go back and rewind and take a look at the time on the video down here in the left hand corner, and or compare the time up on the clock for the time running down. Time to kill record on this one, no talents, was 13 seconds total for all of that, and that combo of 6 heavy hits was approximately 6 seconds. So that's the combo, not necessarily the kill. 6 seconds. Here, this one, so for all of my testing, I don't have a level 45 Warlord or Necro yet. They're, I think, in the 20s, teens, or something like that. I did want to show, since I was the one that was doing it, what my new build is for the basic focus. This is just when I'm coming in, I'm now putting in the talent so we can go in and do the other piece. And I was like, you know what, I'm just going to do the full build. What this is centered around, the idea of it, just to interject a little bit here, is that of course the basic unit is still the cream of the crop, the focus of the build. But what I've done is, from previous builds, is take these points away from down here to get reduced possession maintenance cost. But I do pick up these two in order to finally unlock this tier. But I take these 4 points here, and I take 2 points out of the blast radius here, and a point out of Gates of Hell basic here, and 2 points out of the telekinetic surge, because actually if you maybe even rewind it or take a look at it, you don't get a whole lot of range out of this thing, and the range, the radius increase that it does, I think it goes up to 18% max. If you get an extra 10%, I think it is on the first one, I think it's 10%, then 13%, then 18% totals for each point. If it's a 10 meter radius, a 20 meter total circumference, 10 meters each direction, say from each arm, a 10% increase to that is only 1 more meter. And 18%, which is not 20%, is only less than another meter. So it's not really a great range upgrade. Same basic thought into the range of Thunderstruck up here. And then the damage of Thunderstruck we do pick up. The cooldown reduction of the Fear Dash is pretty important for the economy, in my opinion. Some folks have complained about the economy. It's a lot better than again, these points here, or some of our range. We do put points into Insane Clone Posse and Health Razor Elite. Why do we do that? Well, kind of the hope is that once we push into the mid game, if we've got survivors that are going to get out of the early game and out of our basic unit, kill them early type strategy that everybody has seen before on my channel, we get the elites out through Portal Elite, but mostly through traps. We want to kind of shift some of our points around the threat level 5 to 6, maybe 7 level, and we should be able to read the game and know that we're going to go into objectives at that point, or that there's a high probability that we will go into objectives, and shift those points down into traps and get those elites out for a lot cheaper just by the trap activation. Other than that, this is the same build that we've seen before. Again, just something nice to kind of throw into there, maybe for folks to take a look at. So now, if I'm not mistaken, this is going to be the beating up with talents. This is going to be a regular possession. For this one, while he's swinging through, regular possession with talents is going to be 4 full combos and 2 hits. So you gain about another combo worth of hits with the Health Razor basic talent is what you get. Also, the Puppet Master basic talent is something else to keep in mind. That's an 8% increase to the Puppet Master basic possession. This is going to be the power possession with talents. This is going to be the long one. And actually, Puppeteer basics have the biggest health pool under power possession in the game. Believe it or not. This is going to come in at a whopping 9 full combos. The closest one behind that is going to be Warlord with 7 combos plus 3 hits. Now, there is an argument to be made with, I didn't test this out fully, but Necro with Flute, full talents, and you're swinging from the shield side. That you could probably make an argument that the resiliency of the unit is higher. Once the shield goes away, though, the actual health pool itself is going to be lower. So there you can see our unit is finally dead. Okay, so this one, I tried doing a running heavy hit and I messed it up. So this is where I'm like, oh no, I messed it up. Oh, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to go ahead and knock you down. So I'm pretty sure that he goes down. Yeah, so he pretty much went down there. see, I'm pretty sure that it's, yeah, 3 heavy swings, 6 hits for the full heavy combo before the dance. So that's 1. I think I run around enough to cancel it. 1, 2, yeah, and then 3. Okay, and then you get the dance. So a full heavy combo plus 2 more hits, 2 more heavies to down a level 1 Ash from Full Talons Kandarian Fury, level 1. Well, in-game level 1 possession unit. So this is going to be a pretty fun one here. This is going to be the speed test. So let's wind it back 10 seconds. Go ahead and maybe, I mean, you probably could have rolled back this video yourself. We'll take note of the time. 1, go, okay. And so from 19 here, about, right, 1920 is when I start chasing him. And like I said, this is just a game of tag. How long does it take me to catch you? Now Lash here is going to run out of stamina, and I'm going to tag him almost immediately. And that took approximately 12 seconds according to my time and I think what we just mentioned here. Now this is now, so that's the ending of the testing for Puppeteer. That's what we tested. Those different types of numbers. We're going to see these exact same tests pretty much. But now I'm playing the Lash, and the person that is playing the other character is reading these numbers back to me. So we're not really going to get to see the numbers like we did before. So now I'm going to have to read them off as what they gave to me. So that was, we actually did record now the light attacks. That should have been a light, or maybe it was the heavy. I'm not 100% sure which one is which. But Warlord with weapon, no talents, 80 on the light, 160 on the heavy. And that should line up with what other numbers are. So this is going to be no weapon. Light is 75, heavy is 150 without weapon. Okay, that should have been the heavy there. All right, and then we move on. Let's see. Okay, this must be with talents, so we'll read the with talents. I apologize. Warlord with weapon, heavy, and talented is going to be a 216 heavy and a 108 light. And then we should move into here. The Warlord without weapon, heavy, is going to be 203 and 101 light. Again, I'll try and put the numbers like over the map or something as I edit this video down. Big shout out to my associates that helped me out on this and gathering this data. Fortuity, Sir Charade, and Thicky. Alright, so this is going to be the talentless Warlord beatdown. Health test. So basic health units, no talents, Warlord. This is going to be, should be a 5 times combo plus 3. Actually, I should also mention that there was one of the health tests. I think there was a missed swing somewhere. So there's a slight grain of salt in one of the numbers. I can't remember off the top of my head which one that it is. This is the range test. I think we're going to see another one of these because we ran over to do the speed test or something like that, and he was like, "Oh no, that was a light," and I was like, "Okay, well let's do a heavy real quick," because these, like I said, these are lights. Not a huge deal with the range. I just thought it was an interesting detail to go ahead and put in there for this. So this is going to be me running away from. Let's rewind 10 seconds. This is going to be me running away from the Warlord basic unit. Now, this one was a little bit tough because he actually didn't hit me. However, we should be able to see the white triangle kind of flashy thing showing that you're about to get hit from behind right as soon as he comes down. Okay, go, and right about 24 is when we should be counting down here real quick. Okay. And also one of the indicators is going to, or I'm sorry, one of the kind of the key things here is that you can watch me run out of stamina here shortly. There. And there's the arrow, and that should be right about where we stop, because he was like, oh no, I missed. And I was like, that's right, I heard you. I could hear you there, and I heard it on editing this video. And what I say, 24. So from this point is about 14 seconds or so, I think. I have down at 15 seconds. It might be, let's see, let's roll it back. 104, 126, 125, 124. I'm sorry, 1324. Yeah, and that's going to roll down to, maybe I might need to adjust my numbers on my notes. Let's be honest. Where's that? Should be almost as soon as we see that triangle pop up. 1309. 15 seconds. No, that's what I have, right? 15 seconds. My math is right. So 12 seconds on Puppeteer, 15 seconds on Warlord to give us a rundown. Once again, I'm not 100% sure if I made this clear or not. As you could see, my marker there, and what we did was we said, okay, I'm going to move back as a lash, or you for the Puppeteer on this one, move back 25 meters from that red line we put in frying pan tunnel. Put your marker there. As the demon, you kind of have to stand there and put the marker on yourself, and then check it. When you get done, and then the demon moves 50 meters away. So the survivor is 25 meters away from frying pan tunnel entrance. Demon's 50 meters away, and it's a game of tag. As soon as and once the tag is done, the timer should be over. That's the way that we tested this. Here he is again, and I think I also wanted to do with weapon as well. So this is kind of another range test. It's not, again, that huge of a deal. I think right here I was like, yeah, you could have gotten back further than that. Go ahead and swing it. Oh, okay, just a little bit closer. And I'm kind of looking down so you can kind of see the space between us, and that was about perfect, I think. So we called that good on that test. I keep marking in places interesting because I'm alt-tabbing. I think this was it again, because that last one that he did was light attacks. Maybe that's what it was. Again, just a little bit closer. So another range test. Not a massive issue or too much of a concern. Okay, now here this. So this should be the talentless Warlord time to combo. I actually measured this one out. So here it's a light, heavy, heavy. That was a weird pop back into him. Heavy. Okay. And that's what I considered his full combo, and that was 6 seconds. Same as Puppeteer. Okay, so this is going to be the full combo. It should be the light, heavy, 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 into puke, dodge, cancel. He didn't let the puke hit on accident, and then he kind of ran around. He was like, oh man, I'm so sorry I messed it up. And I'm like, no, come back and just kill me. I tried to adjust for that time. I think I took a couple seconds, two or so seconds off of his time to kill for that. It wasn't a huge deal because, again, that one was talentless. But the talentless Warlord was 11 seconds time to kill. Did I mention Puppeteers? I don't know. Puppeteers was 13 seconds and 8 seconds. So 11 seconds for talentless Warlord's faster time to kill than the combo that I gave. Here is going to be the full talent beatdown of the Warlord unit, and this is going to take us through 7 full combos plus 3 additional hits. See, while this is going on, how does this stack up? Again, Puppeteer was 9 full combos. That might have been the one that I kind of needed a little bit of fudge factor, so we could be looking at like 8 full combos and 3 hits. Either way, it's still ahead of Warlord in terms of health. Oh, one of the other things here, I think, and I have it in my notes, in both these beatdowns there, you can see for the Warlord, I want to pause it here real quick. Yeah, dismemberment. So the pup unit lost the left arm and no talents and talents. Warlord lost the right arm, or one arm, I mean for both, no talents and talents in both of these. And you can see that the one arm is gone. Now we are kind of only beating on the one side, and that's not a huge problem. Dismemberment wasn't really something that we were after, but after I got to thinking about it, and I noticed as I was editing this video, it actually does kind of become a little bit important when we get to the Necro unit. Here, this is going to be a lot better of the time to kill, if I'm not mistaken. He does let it hit, he dodges into me, he misses that hit, and then he gets one hit, but I go down anyway. And that was a really good time to kill. I think I even adjusted for that miss. That was about 9 seconds on that kill. And that's going to be the end of the Warlord force. So we're going to move into the Necro unit. And this is going to be the Necro unit, no talents. Necro unit, no talents is going to be no flute either. This is going to be a 77 light, 154 heavy. And after these hits, we're going to go into the flautist portion here, okay? And with flute, no talents, it's actually pretty big. He told me 309 heavy, 142 on the light. Definitely the highest numbers that we have. That's more than double Warlord without weapon. Just 11 shy, 11 hit points, 11 damage shy of with weapon, double. Yeah, there was a hit. This is going to be talented. So this is going to be full talents of damage, no flute. And that one was 202 heavy, 92 light. And this here is going to be Necro with flute. Yep, you can see it over his head. 314 heavy and 157 light. Pretty interesting, the difference between the two. And I do want to pause here for just a moment, because I did talk about the bleed damage. I do have my notes on some of this here. The Necro damage is really hard to calculate up due to the level 45 perk down his Q side, is what I mean by that. Skeletal injury, which increases damage by 10% when skeletons are near the survivors. Additionally, it's not fully clear through this testing how the damage modifier is calculated, and it's really not. Because are there any skeletons next to me right now? Does that count as a skeleton that he has possessed? Does it have to be an AI skeleton, is what I mean. Is a skeleton elite, which I think is what it's called, actually, because it's skeleton. This is skeleton, and then skeleton elite is the elite unit, I think is what it is. Does that count as a skeleton? And does it stack up? Is there any cap to that whatsoever? And that's really hard to try and test in this controlled environment situation. And I say that it's really kind of odd, because the Necro with flute, with no increased, with no talents, is 309 heavy, 142 light. Necro with flute and full talents, 314 heavy, 157 light, just to kind of reiterate. So that's 5 more damage on the heavy and approximately 15 more damage on the light. It doesn't really 100% make sense to me, but those are the numbers that he told me, and those are the numbers that we recorded. I also have had some talks with other necromancers in the Discord, and or when I mentioned these numbers in the Discord, after our testing, somebody mentioned that, yeah, they've seen numbers as high as some number, and it was above 314, so I did take that into consideration. But at any rate, those are the numbers that were told to me. So, Necromancer. Necromancer is leagues above. I'm going to let this run. This is going to be the damage against the Necro. But the Necro damage is leagues above anyone else. There's a caveat to that. Here's another caveat to this one here. So, what I did was I was like, man, how long is it going to take for me to beat this shield down in order to get through finally to his health bar? And what this this is, let's have kind of a reminder here. This is no talents, no flutist, regular skeletal unit, and I didn't do this test again because it took so long. This is 7 times combo plus 2 hits in order to beat this unit down with a shield. Now, as soon as the shield is gone, it's not a problem. but that was a lot of balance bar damage to try and take away just beating on the shield. Now, you can make an argument that a good Necro is going to keep his shield facing towards the survivors. You can make an argument that survivors are going to shift around, and not strike the shield. I don't particularly care. It's kind of a moot point for me. But I did want to show in this and record down how that shield does make a difference. And I did want to also point out that once you do take that balance bar down, the shield is gone. Now, one thing here is that you can see we haven't busted down that right arm spear yet. We've only been hitting on this right hand side, and he did not lose his spear. Now for the next test, we should go into talentless, not hitting on the shield. Now there are a couple there. We didn't do any damage. There, we didn't do any damage. There, we didn't do any damage. As soon as that balance bar is gone, he loses his shield. This here is going to, and this is without flute as well, this is going to be just a 4 times combo, doing it from this side. And right about here, whoops, sorry, I didn't mean to roll back 10 seconds, right there, not there, should be what, I think it's on the 3rd hit here, 2nd or 3rd hit, boom. So there he has lost his arm. Still has approximately a half a health bar, and he is now armless. This is a nearly useless unit. This is an effectively dead unit. And again, we're not using a dismember weapon, we're using a blunt weapon. It would be an interesting test to see if you could chop off an arm even faster with a dismember based weapon. However, one of the reasons that we went with a blunt instrument in order to try and go through these how many hits does it take is because I didn't want to run into a decapitation situation. That's fun to say. And have to redo the test over and over. You know, we got through 8 times combos on the Puppeteer Power Possess, and we decapitated, and that's why it died. And it's really hard to tell that's why it died. So I wanted to try and avoid that at all costs. However, in doing so, I discovered this issue with Necro Basics of such a high dismemberment rate, and we'll kind of show here. But again, this is the second one, no talents, no flute. Overall, this is going to be 4 times combo, and he goes down. Now, a Necro with flute, we're going to see some totally different damage numbers here: 49, 54, 59, and 64. Way different. Of course, that's because of the flute buff. Balance bar's down, shield's gone, smacking him from behind this time instead of the side. And I kind of circle around a little bit here, and boom, there, his arm's gone again. Okay, right around the same point. And again, I'm not really, like on the first one where I was just hitting the shield, I was really just laser focused onto that. I think it's left side of his body, and I didn't hit over on the other side at all. This one, I kind of took his back a little bit because I wanted to eliminate some of those. I hit the shield through his body with the sledgehammer, and it didn't register the hit because it hit the shield. But at half health, this unit is now useless. A Necromancer is going to depossess this unit and move on to the next one. So again, talentless with flute. We put a couple hits into him, lost both of his arms, but overall, it took us 5-time combo plus 2 hits. This is going to be the chase down. This one I did actually, I kind of turned my camera around. I didn't get to on the Warlord chase, game of tag is what I'll call it, speed test. I did on this one just to kind of show, you know, this is what we're doing. So you can see I'm at 25 meters and he's back at 50 meters. 2, 1, go. Okay, so about 36 seconds here on the countdown timer. I have us at 17 seconds before he does tag me, but this is a slow unit. And I can tell you from, and I'm going to do a whole elite video probably, but the elites run just as fast as the survivors. They do not have a catch up. Boom, there he is at 18 seconds left. I forget what I had said. Do the math. That should work out to about 17 seconds. Again, Puppeteer, 12 seconds. Warlord, 15 seconds. Necro should be 17 seconds. I think it was 20, was it 34 or something like that? Yeah, that I said. So 17 seconds. That'll do it for that test. Okay, this one here, this should be the range test. I'll just let it run. Kind of the same basic idea here. I don't know what types of attacks that he's doing. To be honest with you, that looks almost kind of like a heavy. That was a good hit. Pretty good range on him. That weapon does help. So there's going to be a light, heavy, heavy into a ground pound war cry is what that's called there, if I'm not mistaken. And actually that combo, by my count, only took 5 seconds. You can go back and rewind if you like and take a look at the clock, but I had it down at about 5 seconds. So the combo does actually seem to move faster, although that combo, what did we say? Light, heavy, heavy, and then into a war cry. That's 4 hits. Puppeteer does 3 button presses, 6 swings in 6 seconds. Warlords was light, heavy, 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 4 swings in 6 seconds, and he did 4 swings in 5 to 6 seconds. So some people say, I kind of feel, but that's not a very good interpreter of data, feelings and beliefs and so forth. But it almost appears to me that Necro's attacks are a little bit more telegraphed in their movement. They seem to have a really big wind up and posing and everything to them. Maybe that's where the feeling kind of comes from, but the total time to the combo is right in line with the other two. So this is going to be talentless, bringing them down. This should be a light, heavy, heavy into a ground pound, back into a light, heavy, heavy is the combo. And then I think like right here, it was like, okay, now what do I do? And I was like, no, kill me, kill me, kill me. One more. Okay, there, war cry down. I think I kind of accounted for that time to kill for talentless. Talentless, no flute, 15 seconds. Necro, no talents, no flute. That's what my notes are. N-T-N-F. This, and I edited this one back over again, so this is going to be with flute. Okay, so as you can kind of see here, and he misses, but it's one full combo, one light, heavy, heavy, ground pound, war cry, and then like one more. I think the light would have finished me off if I wasn't that far away. So that time to kill was 7 seconds. So about half, a little bit more, maybe half time to kill with the flutist, no talents. This is going to be full talents, beating down the Necro unit, no flute, with talents, no flute. This is going to be 4 times plus 3 hits. And there, I think you can already see, I want to rewind back here again real quick. So we've got a couple hits, and there goes the spear. And next hit or so, there goes that, and you can see how much health is left, how much health was left when both of those appendages went down. With a blunt instrument, this unit again is useless. In all fairness, though, I don't mean to pick on the necromancer in this type of a way, but it is a highly key piece of information to hold that I don't think a lot of people are talking about. At any rate, though, we're bringing this unit down. Necro, no flute, with talent should be a full 4 times combo plus 3 hits. I might have already said that. He's going to go down here in just a second. So this is going to be with flute. This should be a full 7 combo. Beating him down. I think that's a full combo. There goes his arm. There goes his other arm. Again, I think that might have been 2 combos or so. Both arms are gone. This unit is useless. But we do have, I'll let it play out, but we do have a full 7 combos in order to bring this unit down in full. It's pretty interesting to think about, because you need, what are we talking about here? Like 4 people beating on the unit at one time. The sledgehammer should be one of the hardest hitting weapons, relatively speaking. If everybody has one, everybody needs to complete a combo plus. This should be time to kill, ground pound, into a light and a heavy. Full talents, no flute. That should have been approximately 10 seconds to death. This one's fun. This one's actually really interesting. We're almost ending the video almost here. So this is going to be a light, heavy, heavy, into a ground pound, and I'm dead. 1 combo. That's pretty fun. So Necro with talents and with flute, 6 seconds on the kill. Okay. So now this is this last piece. I wanted to leave this last piece here because for the balance bars, because of how we did the test. And how we did the test, as I think I mentioned at the beginning of the video, is we had Leader Ash do his show up and blow up It does consistent damage to the balance bar, and with not knowing how the balance bar number is, what I decided to do is try and estimate how much of that balance bar is left. And so we can see here, and this is why I want to do it, because I wanted to be able to pause and kind of let you see this for a moment. And I would guesstimate this to be around 20 to 25% of the balance bar left. This is a talentless, no rock steady basic unit, and this is going to be talentless again. So talentless again on the Warlord basic unit, we can see here, oh man, that really looks like maybe 40 to 50% or so of the balance bar left. I think we ran tests with, but I mentioned regular possession, power possession. There was no difference between the two. I think we did the same with and without flutist, and I think it was the same. I only kept one. There, boom. That's a lot. That's again more. This is talentless, necromancer unit. That's going to be, by my estimate, between the 50 and 60, maybe 60% range of balance bar left. And now we should move into with talents. There. I think that's a pretty considerable difference. There, I would put that around the 30 to 40% bar left. Warlord with talents. That's, I mean, again, a sizable difference. That's going to be, what, 60%, maybe something like that left, maybe a little bit more. All right, and Necro, balance bar left, that's, again, pretty high. Maybe 70% left or so. A lot of balance bar left. Okay. And that's actually the end of the video. So, one of the last things, like I mentioned, that I wanted to talk about is going to be, and I'm just going to leave this screen up, the abilities. All three of the demon's abilities are actually kind of situational. Necro abilities are great for tacking on to the end of a combo and extending the light, light, heavy, or light, heavy, heavy string without a combo cooldown. Everybody always mentions the puppeteer combo cooldown. That's the thing that they do at the end, or whatever in the heck that it is, the little dance move. And they have only put in an animation for the puppeteer units. Every single unit has, including survivors, has a combo cooldown. However, with the Necros, like I just mentioned, you can do the light, light, heavy, light, heavy, heavy string without a combo cooldown if you stack your ability onto the end, as we kind of just saw in this video. Not only that, you can do a light, heavy, well, I'll get to that in the conclusions. They do have other uses outside of the combos. Obviously, Warcry, if you're getting stacked on, try and throw one down to push them back, and then throw a dodge, and then try and get back into the mix or something of that nature. The lunging thrust can be very useful if somebody's just trying to stay back, and it does have a rather deceptive range. But are as situational as the others. One key thing to note here, I think you start out with it, is that skeletons passively increase the fear of survivors around them. That's going to be kind of important because, talking about the Warlord's abilities, the Warlord Puke is great for locking down survivors and punishing them due to the two grossed out talents, too grossed out to dodge, too grossed out to run. However, do not use that ability when your balance bar is low. If you're getting hit from the back and you've got the support in front of you and you've got a little bit of balance bar left and you're like, man, I really want the support and I want to down them, if you go into your puke animation and you get stunned, it cancels the puke animation. Not only that, but the stun is going to last for about as long as, even if that hit, the stun is going to last as long as the too grossed out dodge and run. So that's kind of why it is a little bit situational, and you can also dodge puke. So there is that to keep in mind. You can turn, but it's not like a Dead by Daylight who was it, the plague lady with her puke, how it's got like if you touch the stream at all, it hits you. It has a really weird tick on it. You can't just spin around in a circle and hit everybody. You've got to kind of hold it there for a second and get the hit. So do not use it when the balance bar is low. Dodge canceling makes this ability much better, far and above the others, in terms of if you can get, again, I mean, it's a punishing move. If you can get it to hit, you're pretty much guaranteed it down. Arm tears with dodge canceling especially. Arm tear currently refills the health bar and adds the weapon damage, but you do need 2 arms to use, one to reach over and grab it, and then of course tear that arm off. So if you don't have one of those arms, you can't use the ability, and you do lose 1 arm in the process, and that's why I did want to bring up dismemberment damage. Both moves can be dodge canceled currently and may be adjusted in the near future, as necro units cannot dodge cancel their abilities, and elite units cannot cancel their abilities either. So I'm not sure if it's an oversight on Saber's part that you can dodge cancel out of Warlord's abilities. I think it would be an unfortunate blow to the Warlord community, and a lot of strategies would have to change. However, I think a lot of high-level Warlords may not be actually doing the dodge canceling puke and still winning games. So there's that. I liken it to the Puppeteer current balance bar, elite balance bar canceling into Thunderstruck, or the animation canceling of Thunderstruck. That's the AoE from the elite ability, where you could wind it up and hit attack, and it would automatically cancel rather than have the delay as it's supposed to before they patch that out. But anyways, the Warlord unit with the arm tear, one of the other things that you can actually do, and I am going to submit this to Saber for feedback, you can do the arm tear and you can dodge cancel before the tear, and it resets the cooldown on the ability. The arm tear itself takes, I want to say, 3 to 5 seconds in order to actually complete. But at approximately the 2-second mark, I want to say, is when the actual tear occurs. And once the tear occurs, you can dodge cancel out of the animation, keep your arm, or tear off your arm, and because it refills your health, it's kind of like a 2-second heal for your unit. How often something like that may be, if you still have your 2 arms and you have half your health left, are you going to still be in the fight? Is it actually something that's still winnable for you? I don't know. But of course, something like that does sound rather unintended, and it's because the Warlord basic units can dodge cancel out of their abilities, which leads me further to thinking that something like this is going to be fixed. It is worth noting that this demon does not appear to have any passive or active fear increases outside of the fear dash ability and talents. Talents meaning that the elites can be talented to increase fear via their blood spatter. If you hit them and you're close enough, or you increase the range of blood splatter in order to be less close, that will increase fear. But there is no, like the skeletons being near survivors increases fear. There's nothing, it's kind of a passive for the necro demon itself in order to increase his fear. On to the Puppeteer. Basic unit, self-destructed head rush causes the unit to suicide after throwing the head for head rush, and generally neither one of those are not quite worth it. A possessed unit, due to not executing possessed units, is guaranteed to self-destruct unless possession is dropped early. And what I mean by that is that because survivors cannot do the F move, hit F on PC, cannot execute a basic unit, they have to just drain its life all the way down in order to kill it, which guarantees that it will blow up, and your possession is going to do more damage. So it's kind of a very niche that you could maybe catch a couple warriors or something like that. Could be useful against warrior heavy teams or melee leaders such as Arthur. Puppeteer power possessibility causes melee hits to increase fear very rapidly on targets. If you want to rewind and watch the video where I was hitting him, I don't remember if his fear was up or not, there's a talent that you can also spec into that increases that fear on possessed units, but power possession, you only need a few hits in order to get that fear up. Dismemberment, we talked about it before. So regular possessed pup unit lost a right arm. Power possessed puppeteer unit lost a left arm and right arm. Lost a left arm, both talented and untalented, is what I meant to say. Warlord lost an arm, right arm specifically, no talent and talented. Necro loses shield on first balance bar break always, and lost their arms, no talent and talented, flute and no flute. So, what does all this mean? Well, one thing, like I said, is that I just wanted to bring out some of the raw numbers of what we're talking about. When you're in game and you're looking at your basic units, the speed means something. The damage means something. The health means something. For us, I think it's just like little white diamonds, but it means something out there in the real world when you're out there doing these things. So all three demons have their strong points and their weak points. All three demons rely heavily on their active ability to really shine. The Warlord is a little less so than the other two demons because of its nature, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. Because first I want to talk about the Puppeteer. Try and ran this exactly how my movie or my video flowed. Puppeteer is the fastest unit on foot. Has a great time to kill, meaning how long does it take me to kill a survivor based on that. The real world situations of some of these combos is going to be a little bit different. So I just kind of tried to put a little bit of the perfect situation of, how many hits is this going to take basically. The largest health under power possession, largest health pool when a power possession is occurring. Second best damage numbers. They do surpass Warlord. What do I mean by that? If we recall, with talents and Kandarian Fury, under power possession, the Puppeteer unit hits for 115 with 3 ticks of bleed at a number of 5. That's per heavy hit, and a Puppeteer unit does 2 hits of heavy, so that's 230 damage plus, 115 plus 15, okay, that's 130, so 260. Warlord with a weapon on a heavy is 216. So, technically speaking, the Puppeteer does more damage on a heavy hit. If you count that both hit. Now, of course, both of them are not going to hit every time. So, I do say that he does have the second best damage numbers in that type of a situation. We can debate back and forth, but he is definitely not the weakest damage dealer that people have claimed. And appears to have good dismemberment protection. Combos should be limited and in presses, and dodges should be utilized to extend the damage without causing too many combo cooldowns. A little shimmy and shake. We don't want to do that. We want to keep him on the move. Do not button mash on this unit. The other two units do really kind of love to button mash. The Warlord a little less so. The Necro a lot more so. You don't want to be running down units with the Necro. We'll talk about that. Do not button mash on this unit. However, his basic unit abilities and poor balance bar are his weak points. Keeping one unit under power possession for a lengthy time and moving around the battlefield when necessary to keep on the move in a stick and move style is recommended. Puppeteer has the ability to punish survivors who button mash back into them. So if they're just combo hit swinging over and over and over and over and over, that's really good time for you to punish them. Through the use of dodge and a 2-hit heavy attack, causing a stagger from the survivors and opening them up to a follow-up hit or another dodge dance, looking for a punishing window. Another punishing window. Puppeteer, through sheer speed, can stick onto survivors better than any other unit who attempt to flee from a fight on foot, and can chase survivors effectively around cars when an automotive getaway is attempted. I have actually done that several times, prevented someone from getting away in a car, and not just that I knew that they were running to the car, but running them around the car. It is important to note that power possession cooldown runs while you are power possessing another unit. So it is possible to chain power possession if the unit can be held for the appropriate amount of time. I want to say that the cooldown is 90 seconds to start off with, and then you can get the talent that reduces the cooldown, and that goes down to 60 seconds. And you would actually be surprised how quick 60 seconds can go by when you are moving around the battlefield and dodging attacks and engaging and disengaging in the fight in sort of a to and fro type of play, rather than, again, up in your face constantly all the time. The fear the basic units can apply during the early game can lead to punishing early game possessions as well as threat level potential, as possessing survivors in and of itself adds large amounts of demon experience in the early game. This is one of the key points to Puppeteer within the early game, something that I have recently learned and that I need to adapt into my gameplay, where you get onto a basic unit, and even if you do get kicked out of it, you hopefully have applied a couple hits in order to apply a Terrified onto a survivor and jump into them. If you know that you're going to get immediately killed straight out of them, drop the possession, you still get the experience out of it. Okay, that'll do for the Puppeteer. Warlord units have the second best balance bar, good dismemberment protection, good health, decent run speed, strong damage, and a good time to kill. Their combo of light, heavy, heavy, light, or heavy, puke, dodge, cancel the puke, light, heavy, heavy, light, or heavy, instead of the last light again, is sure to down survivors if landed. However, balance bar stunning by survivors out of puke is detrimental to the unit's ability to stay on target. But if the ability is successful, then you are all but guaranteed to down. One key to this demon's basic units is to try and keep several other basic units nearby to allow for really bad influence buff to support your possession, or allow for easy swapping should your current possession die or become non-viable. No arms. Additionally, really bad influence has a short cooldown, so you may want to drop a possession early if your army numbers are large to activate the ability again and rebuff the surrounding units. So if you're fighting and you've got 2 or 3 units kind of off to the side, even if they're being kind of AI idiots and pointing and laughing and stuff like that, if you've used your buff, it's been a little bit, drop your possession, activate your Q, go into one of those idiots standing off to the side. So that way you can rebuff them and hopefully they'll get back into the fight. Necro units have the best balance bar, good health, and best damage of any demon, and the fastest time to kill. The basic unit can combo light, light, heavy 4 times over, or you can do it less, then use the war cry or lunging thrust, that's their 1 or 2 ability, to avoid combo cooldown and move directly back into a light, light, heavy combo, or string of 4 times over again, allowing for infinite combo potential. The shield allows for strong defenses on one side of their body, so positioning is key. With good positioning and a flute, you are sure to down any survivor foolish enough to take you head on. However, the basic units are the worst for running after survivors and have very brittle appendages when even balance bar focused weapons remove their limbs with ease. Where even balance bar focused weapons remove their limb with ease, rendering the unit useless. If you don't have arms, what good is your health pool? What good is a good balance bar, and where is your damage? Headbutts do no damage. Be very mindful of where you place the flautist. I always call him the flutist, the flautist, and it is recommended that you use the already present traps as well as proximity portals of your own to make killing this unit as hard as possible. You can see Dead End in the background. Stick him upstairs, put a proximity portal, trap up in there, maybe even put him up there. Survivors will come after him thinking that, hey, this is going to be smart, and then you can pop another portal downstairs, take over one of those units as they're trying to run upstairs, and pin them upstairs and down them. There is no way to vault out of the 2nd floor. So think of maybe even using your flautist itself as a trap. Flautist cooldown is approximately the same as the ability itself. Should you realize that the buff has ended, end your possession and drop a new flautist. So, those are my conclusions about the 3 demons on this basic unit evaluation, and really kind of their queuability as a result of the basic unit evaluation. I wanted to go this route first because basic units are really, basic unit rushdowns are really kind of the meta of what's going on right now. I am going to get into elites as part of the next, probably the next piece of the Evil Dead 101 series, and then I want to do all the bosses for the final piece, well, one of the final pieces for the Evil Dead 101 series, at least in terms of that basic demon approach. And then we'll get back into maybe Warlord and then into Necro. So, but at any rate, I think we've gone long enough on this video, and I really want to thank everyone for stopping in and watching this video, and I hope we really learned something together from this, and I really hope that this video has been informative and that you can use this information moving forward when you're talking about tips and strategies and how to use your demons. So thank you very much. Swallow their souls, demons. We'll see you on the next one. Hey everybody, I just wanted to tack on to the end of this video here. I went back and I tried adding in the numbers and everything as it was. It turns out that's a premier feature of the video editing software that I utilize, and I can't export it with all of that on there. So what I'm going to do here at the end is just kind of scroll down through these different numbers. Hopefully my notes make sense. So basic unit damage numbers, no talents. Puppeteer on a normal possess, pup with power possess. Again, we didn't really record the lights, with and without weapon. Necro with flute, no flute. With talents, no Kandarian Fury. With talents and Kandarian Fury. And then finishing out with these here. Here's kind of my notes in italics about some of the things that I talked about during the video. Basic unit health numbers, damage numbers generated with lash or sledgehammer. Again, no talents. This is going to be the combo number times however many. Yeah, it might have been the full talents power possessed. So this might be like times 8 plus 3. He's still ahead of everybody else on a power possession. PP is power possession, regular possession. Warlord, Necro, no flute with flute. Full talents, regular possession, power possession, Warlord, Necro, no, and with flute. These are kind of my notes down here, so I'm probably going to stop scrolling just about the abilities and what I talked about in the conclusion section or in the ability section. Time to kill, pup, Warlord, Necro, talentless, pup, no talents, pup with talents, Warlord, no talents, Warlord with talents. Necro, no talents, no flute. Necro, no talents with flute. Necro, talents, no flute. Necro, talents with flute. Time to combo, it was 6 seconds. Warlord 6 seconds. Necro 5 seconds. Also remember how many hits are in the combos. I think it's 4 hits in this combo. 4 hits in this combo. And 3 button presses, 6 hits in this combo, heavies. Range recorded, that was just kind of a note that I did record the range. I wasn't really sure exactly how to put that. Again, it was just kind of a fun feature. Speed test, pup 12 seconds, Warlord 15 seconds, Necro 17 seconds. So there's the raw numbers from the testing that we had done. So again, I just want to include this. Thanks much, and I'll tack this into the end.